Boy, it is grilling season. Just as President Ramaphosa came from his grill down in the Oval Office, when he comes back, DA Minister of Communications and Technologies, Thuli Malatsi, did a little trick to try and sort of push back BEE. So he's finding little loopholes so that he weakens BEE for his portfolio so he can release business to operate in that space. Boy, does he get fried in Parliament for what he's doing and accused of all sorts of stuff, just as if his grilling is not enough. 2 days before, Gayton McKenzie, leader of the PA, put out a post that got him grilled. Now, if you stay for the end of this video, you're gonna come out with an amazing principle that most politicians in South Africa miss, and their voters have no clue about this, and that's why we have unemployment, the economy not growing. So I'm hoping maybe you can share this video with someone and they can think better, because we've decided South Africa will prosper. You ready for that? Press like. Let's go.
Mr. Thuli Malatsi has dismissed claims that the proposed relaxation of BEE legislation is aimed at paving the way for billionaire businessman Elon Musk's Starlink to operate in South Africa. He appeared before Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Communications today. He was grilled on the timing of the Gazette. Newsroom Africa's senior politics reporter Zianda Ngobo has more.
Communications Minister Thuli Malatsi was at pains to explain that the issuing of a draft policy directive which allows for satellite companies like Starlink to operate in South Africa without giving over 30% ownership to previously disadvantaged groups has got nothing to do with the trip to Washington led by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Malatsi told the Portfolio Committee that last week's Gazette was a culmination of a process which began in earnest late last year.
Different people are always going to have different views about the timing. And I would really like that in that conversation, we are mindful of the steps that predate the visit that took place to Washington. To be mindful that the work that culminated even engaging with ICASA as early as the 4th of October would not have been done that way if all of a sudden there is a realization that we have to gazette by Friday.
But most members of Parliament were not convinced.
Was any deal cut in America by the leadership? And I've got a clear-cut clarity from the African National Congress that there was no deal cut clearing the path for any Starlink regulations, as the public is calling.
I think you're trying to effect amendments using a ministerial policy directive to the Electronic Communications Act as well as to the ICT Sector Code, which is a product of the BBPE Act.
When are you reversing this unlawful gazette? Who pressured you to do this? You are under oath. Who pressured you? Who instructed you to do this? Because you seem like an intelligent man. Maybe in the words of Rupert, you seem like a changed man. Who is pressuring you to do this?
Apologies.
One DA MP pushed to remind the committee that the policy directive was still a draft and is going to be subject to comment.
What Minister is saying is that there is going to be 30 days from the day of the Gazette for any interested party to make comments. And all of us in this room are choosing to ignore that little fact, because we want to use this as this process for political expediency.
Malatsi closed off his responses to criticism from MPs by saying this.
I can't dissociate myself from the fact that the leader of my party was part of the delegation to the US. And I'm a proud member of my party. I'm not apologetic about that. Yes, and I belong to a party that is part of this administration. And this administration, through the president and the other members that were in that delegation, have consistently said there was no discussion whatsoever about Starlink. There wasn't. Some of you have shared this sentiment in there. So as to why you would want to implicate me into conversations I wasn't part of in order to shape a narrative of bullying, I don't know what that seeks to achieve.
When asked about what independent watchdog ICASA had to say about his draft policy directive, Malatsi conceded that the Chapter 9 institution advised him to rather amend the Electronic Communications Act, which stipulates the 30% equity requirement. But in that same response, the body also said that Malatsi is entitled to issue a gazette. The legal notice is now open for comment.
So basically what happened is there are BE laws that say if you want to open a business here, you must give 30% of it to comrades, to Black economic empowerment. Okay, now Malatsi's party doesn't believe in interfering too much with business and trying to control business, and so does the PA. But now 3 days before Malatsi was in Parliament getting grilled by Parliament, PA minister went and did a tweet. Now he says your ideology is more important than the very people you claim to serve. Starlink will give greater and cheaper access in a country with the most expensive data prices. I'm glad that Starlink is coming. We should make it happen faster. I support it wholeheartedly. So, you know what's happening right now. We have the comrades, the revolutionaries, the fighters telling us we must hate America, we must love China, and we must love Russia because it's for our people. Funny enough, the most American company that has American in its name, Anglo-American, has Nolita Fagute as chairperson, is 51% black owned, is 63% black management, spends billions of rands on black owned businesses in the country. Bank of China, which is in South Africa, Chinese chairperson, Chinese CEO, Chinese board, Bank of China. But we need to stick with China because it's for the people, Baba. It's for the people. So now this post by Gayton obviously comes into that whole thing of, that's the point right now. So Gayton then writes this and he says, you don't care about people. What happens? Woo! They say, how much is Starlink if converted to rands, including in installation? Please, and approximate or compared to countries like Zimbabwe, Lesotho. Because everyone's got Starlink except us. Prof Thuli Madonsela, kindness. Be kind. The benefit of things is not always measured in money. Oh, it's not? You must try tell that guy who wishes he had money for a loaf of bread. You must try tell that gogo who wishes she had money for meat. You must try tell all the unemployed people, tell all the people who can't buy a house and they must live in a shack where the rain comes through the ceiling. Try tell them that the main problem in the country right now is not money. It is. Okay. It's not always measured in money. Homer's Trojan tale reminds us that what appears as a gain may enable far more loss. The Greeks have a horse to the city of Troy to gain access, as that's how the Greeks conquered Troy, which until then had resolutely defended its sovereignty. In our time, we've seen similar Trojan horses in the Middle East. Not saying this is the case. Why did you write a paragraph so that you can say, but don't worry about it? let's examine costs and benefits beyond rands and cents. So she says, so Prof Thuli Madonsela sat either on her laptop made by Dell or Acer, with software made by Microsoft, or she sat on her Apple iPhone made in America, or on her Android phone that runs Android from Google software, where she saves all her messages, all her documents, all her texts on WhatsApp, which is made in America. And she's trying to say, no, Starlink may not be safe because they will what? Get to see our shacks. Like they'll say, what are they going to see that they haven't seen before? What? They're going to get to see our young people in street corners. What are they going to see, Thuli? What are they going to see that they're not seeing right now on your phone, which is American, on your laptop, which is American? What are they going to see now with Starlink? Okay, so she's just trying to do a America Khafar. And the other one says, we can't bend the rules for Starlink, even though we don't want to here. Yep, it's going to be a problem that someone's bending the rules for Starlink, because you bend for one, you got to bend for all. Pumlani Majozi says, we are thankful to President Trump and Elon. Pressure breeds reform. BEE policies are bad for South Africa's economy. However, the goal should be to eliminate all of BEE policies in all industries. Whoa! BEE zombies are going, no! You are saying that because you are racist. So all the zombies are obviously on that tip. So now there's someone who said, how do you know that Starlink will be cheaper? Well, let's answer the first way. Starlink is now cheaper than leading internet provider in some African countries. In at least 5 of the 16 African countries that have Starlink, where the service is available, a monthly Starlink subscription is cheaper than the leading fixed internet service provider. So it means Starlink in these countries is cheaper than their MTN, Vodacom, Cell C. So Starlink has disrupted the existing internet service provider in Kenya. And someone says, but it's not in all the countries. Yes, it's not. So then why should they have it? So let's tell you something. This is how economics work. The only way to not have Starlink cheaper than you is that you are cheaper than Starlink. And the only way for Starlink to not go bankrupt is for Starlink to then try get cheaper than MTN or Vodacom. And then for MTN and Vodacom to not go bankrupt, well, then they're going to have to see if they either move and join Starlink. If you can't beat them, join them, or move into another business where they can give their people the best price, or they're going to have to bring something that justifies us spending on them. See, this is the thing. A free market is a market where people vote with their money. In our politics, we vote once every 4 years. In the economy, we vote every single day. And what happens is the voters decide who is giving me the best value for the best price. And if you are not doing that, they vote you out. If you are doing it, they vote you in. People say, these billionaires. Well, if you want to stop them being billionaires, stop voting for them. It's just like EFF like it. ANC love it. They wear Western clothing, the most expensive, and stand up in Louis Vuitton shoes and say, these rotten billionaires, if you don't like them, stop voting for them with your money. So what happens instead is Marxists want to control the market. They want to control who comes in. They want to control who gives what shares to who. They don't want the power to be with the people. Because you see, when I leave my house, I spend the whole day voting for people and not voting for certain businesses. And that is how you get a country that becomes prosperous. The countries that try to control the economy get poor and unemployed. South Africa has been trying to control the economy with BEE, with EE, with all these things. And just because someone put a black in front of it, the zombies just assume just because you put black something something, the something something must be good. Because they are immoral people. They don't know how to measure what is right and wrong, good and bad, working and not working. They only know what is black or white. You can sell them any lie, just put black in front of it, they will run with it. If you say 1 + 1 equals black 5, they will accept it because they have no sense of what's right and wrong. They only have a sense of what's black and white. If you tell them 2 - 1 equals black 7, that's it. They run with it because they don't know what's true or false, good or bad, working or not working. BE has not been working since the time it started. It will never work. Anytime the government tries to control business, people get broke. Anytime the government pulls back, people begin to find jobs, opportunities, they begin to prosper, the government collects more tax, everything runs better. So I salute Malatsi, I salute Gayton on this one. Yes, let them come through. Why? Because this is what happens. This is how you control business. My biblical reaction. And everyone who competes for the prize, this is like in a race, is temperate in all things. Everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. That word is exercises self-control in all things. How do you control businesses to do what's best for their customers? You let them compete. Starlink coming in adds another aspect, which means MTN, Vodacom, all of them now have to up their game, or Starlink takes their lunch. And even Starlink, when it comes in, it needs to up its game because MTN or Vodacom will take their lunch. And this is how you get prosperity. You don't control business by government. You let business self-control by competition. Where is the fastest person? The fastest person you've ever seen run anything was in a competition. The strongest person you've ever seen lift anything was in a competition. The fastest bowler you have ever seen bowl in cricket was in a competition. The best players you've ever seen play are competitive players. It's the same. The society that allows business to compete then allows business to self-control, and then the buyers benefit. No man can serve two masters. Either he'll love the one or he'll hate the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. Marxism tells you to control business. That's not how you get to prosperity. And go to the bottom and see, if you see this video just as it comes out, Hopefully we catch you tonight, but let's make history together. Cling, cling. Don't just subscribe, but ring that bell. And if you subscribed, I look forward to see your comment at the bottom. I can only see subscriber comments. So let's make history together.